All right, all right, all right. Welcome everybody to Sid's Little Corner of the Internet. We've got another Transformers review coming your way today. This time around, we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Huffer. This guy, I was really looking forward to this guy, so I'm happy to be able to bring this review to you. So let's move him out of the way and take a look at that packaging. Bring that packaging in. You can see right up there at the top, it says Huffer. You have Huffer right there, Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy, Transformers up the side. You get that Kingdom artwork right there on the side. On the back, you get your product shots. Huffer up the side again. All your warnings down here. Everybody's favorite, the Sad Baby, makes another appearance. He is a Deluxe-Class, and we'll set that right there so you guys can take a nice look at that artwork showing both modes. And up here at the top, he is War for Cybertron Kingdom 16, and on the bottom is the manufacturing information. So that's it for the outside of the packaging. Let's talk about what came in there, and of course we will start with the insert. So again, it's the same thing that you see every time you have a Kingdom figure. You've got that golden disc and some other graphics going on there, so nothing too exciting. Next thing we'll talk about, of course, is this, but we're not really going to talk about it. Bye. And look at this, guys. With the Kingdom, you get cards. Look at this. I got a Megatron. This is the first one of Megatron that I've gotten, which means I'll probably, for the next wave, I'll probably get Megatron every single time. But either way, for now, I'm pretty excited about this. So there you go. And finally, minus the accessories, of course, you get the instructions. All right, now he does come with two accessories, which we'll talk about right now. So the first one we'll talk about is his rifle. And this is a pretty cool looking rifle there. They've got the orange molded plastic with a gunmetal gray paint scheme going on there. And I think that comes across looking pretty good. And this does split. This splits for robot mode, or excuse me, for the alt mode, not for robot mode. So you just kind of have to get your finger in there, and then you can give this thing a little bit of a split, and then this makes up the sides of his truck bed. So we'll talk about that when we get to it. And then you have his really cool shield claw fifth wheel cover when he's in truck mode. But I just love this thing. I love how it makes him look. This just gives him a, I don't know. I want to use a bad word here. He's a bad butt. When he has this thing on, he just looks really cool. It really sets the character off. So, but yeah, nice accessory here. And that is all you get inside the package, other than Mr. Huffer himself. And we will now bring him in for his close-up, and we'll take a look at that face sculpt. And I think that's a very well done face sculpt right there. You've got those painted blue eyes, silver face. Good molding down through here, the chest area. Got that nice molding in the paint right there in the waist and the crotch. Good amount of molded in detail on the legs. And there's a lot of orange going on down here, but there is molded in detail in the feet and in the shins as well. And then over here on the side, you have those really good looking wheels. You have the effects pegs, detail right in here, and then you have all up the side of his arm here. It's all painted silver. A couple of effects pegs there. And overall, this just gives him a nice brawny type of look. I think the robot mode on this guy looks absolutely fantastic. Here he is from the back. So there's a lot of truck going on back there. And for those of you familiar with the G1, it's essentially just like the G1 here. You've got a lot of truck cab hanging off the back. But I think, boy, from the front right here, this just looks wonderful. And you have these hollow areas back here, but this is due to transformation. There's nothing that they could have done here just because of the way the legs fold for transformation. So, but yes, overall, the looks of this guy, he just looks really nice. So as far as articulation goes, you can get a little bit. I don't know how well it's going to come across. You can get a little bit there, side to side, and a little bit up and down. Get my thumb out of the way so you can see it. And then the head does go around a full 360. And for the shoulders, you can come out this far. And then, again, just being wary of the cab, you can take it a full 360. You just got to pull that out of the way a little bit. you do get bicep rotation, and you do get just under 90 degrees on the elbow bend. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more articulation there, but based on this design, it would have been kind of hard to do and still have the continuity of the smokestack. At the hand, you do not get anything at the wrist other than the tilt inward that you can utilize in articulation, but this is primarily for the transformation. And then you do get waist rotation. And at the hips, he is about as flexible as I am, so that's not saying a whole lot. It's enough to get him in some poses, but he's not even close to a Van Damme on that. He does, however, have a really nice range going forward. He will go forward that far, and he will go backward that far. And then he does have thigh rotation, and it's filled in nicely here, so you don't have a big gap. And at the knee, because of the transformation, again, you will have pretty much as much knee bend as you want to have. And then down here in the feet, you don't get any front and back other than just this flap right here, but you can't support any weight on it. It's tight enough that it holds itself, but it would not hold Huffer. So, but you do get a little bit of ankle tilt, not a lot. It would have been nice to get a little bit more ankle tilt out of him, but it's enough to work with. So yeah, overall articulation on this guy is good. He's lacking in the elbows and a little bit in the feet, but for the most part, you can still get this guy in some really dynamic poses, which is nice. So let's go ahead and talk about transformation here, and we'll get him into his truck mode. So the first thing that you want to do is just get this cab out of your way. So you can just kind of pull that so it's out of your way, so you can get your fingers in here and turn that head around so you don't see it when he's in truck mode. So you just do the 180 on that, and then you can take these arms and just disconnect those arms right there at the shoulders and bring them down and around like this. And these arms are going to kind of get in your way. They're going to bang into the cab a few times here while you're getting everything else done. So just do your best to try to angle them down and keep them out of the way. And once you do this, once you've disconnected that, now you can bring this chest piece forward. Again, this is where you'll see me maneuvering the arms a little bit to clear that cab. You bring that chest piece forward, and that exposes these wheels. And then you just want to take these wheels, again, making sure you have enough clearance here between these arms. So if you have them out like that, you're not going to have enough room. So just kind of put your fingers on there and bring those wheels down. And I say put your fingers on the wheels because if you don't, and I've done this once, if you just grab the wheel like this and apply torque to it, it's just on a small mushroom peg internally, and it's real easy to pop those wheels off. So just to prevent that, just put your finger flat on it and then just apply pressure from there. All right, so once you have the wheels out, now you will want to return the chest back to the upright position and then snap that in. All right, and now that you're here, I should have shown you this while the wheels were out. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. So let's maneuver. If you look right in there, you have a tab and a slot system on either side. So what you're going to do is you're going to align the tabs and the slots, and then that's going to orient your smokestacks so they're up and down. And then you have right here on either forearm, you have just an open area here that's going to line up with these larger tabs right there. So essentially you're going to turn these forearms until you have an alignment, and then you can bring this cab down. And once you bring the cab down, trying to give you a good look here, then you can just take these forearms and you'll twist those, and then those will fall right into place where they need to be, and then just double check down here and make sure that your stacks are squeezed together. So now you have the smokestacks oriented correctly for the cab. And then the last step you need to do for the cab area is just take these fists and fold them in. So his fists are exposed. They don't look terrible. It would have been nice if there would have been a better way to hide them. but they blend in pretty well. So down here for the legs, you just simply want to take these foot flaps and you want to rotate them all the way around and then just close them on the top of the leg and do the same thing for the other side. And now you want to tab the legs together. So tab, 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 slot, slot, slot. Line everything up, squeeze those together. And then it's like the old GoBot style. You're just going to flip these legs. As you flip these legs, you have two tabs right there that are going to align to those two slots right there. So you're going to flip those legs and close it and squeeze it until you feel it collapse in there. And there you have Huffer in his truck mode. And I think overall, it's not a bad looking truck mode. Robot mode is definitely my favorite here. The truck mode, I'm probably not going to have him in it all that often, but it pulls it off. And for those of you who have seen a G1 Huffer or a G1 Pipes, which I'll be bringing the G1 Pipes out here shortly for comparison, then you'll know that these guys aren't exactly known for their accuracy, but he is kind of like a little tug truck, almost like something that you would see, a smaller truck that you would see at an airport or whatever that would be tugging or towing things around. So he's not necessarily meant to be a long-haul semi-tractor, if you will. He's just one of those short-haul kind of guys, which, you know, is again, for those who are familiar with G1, you've seen Huffer haul Prime's trailer, and again, that's something else that we're going to demonstrate here as well. But for now, let's look at those details. We'll get in and take a nice look at that cab, and I think they've done a good job here. Again, with this translucent blue that they have going on right here. And again, for the cab lights, they've painted the silver over that and just left the tips as that translucent blue, which is a nice touch. And you've even got the black painted windshield wipers. So really good attention to detail there. Nice silver on the grille and the headlights. And then over here at the rest of the cab, with the little mirrors decked out in silver. Those wheels look really nice. And then you have the smokestacks. You do have a little bit of shoulder poking out right here, but again, it's not that bad. And then coming down here to the side, you have what looks to be, you know, maybe 4 bolts, which gives it enough, well, there's a few down here, I guess, gives it enough definition that it's not just a flat slab. Then you do have an effects port right there, which is nice. Take a look at the back. You do have the tail lights decked out in red. And my legs are a little crooked. There we go. And then over here you have the right-hand side. Now, it's kind of an optical illusion for me, but Huffer, he looks like he's doing this in this mode. And I've struggled. I've transformed him a few times thinking maybe it's me, and I keep wanting to instinctively just bring him back up to try to straighten him out. But what's going on is this area right here is just angled down as part of the design. So, you know, if you see this is far more level than this is. So I think it's just an optical illusion that's messing with me here. And he, you know, rolls. I mean, other than the fact that I've got him a little crooked, but he rolls just fine. So I don't know if it's just my imagination or if it's just an optical illusion or what. But either way, I think overall he does a fairly decent job here. And now if you bring in the accessories, what you'll do with this guy, you have these 3 posts on the back. They will align with the 3 posts here. So you just line these up and push that in. And I think that does a fine job really giving him some definition back here. And per the instructions, you split this gun. I don't know how I feel about this. That's really, I guess, a subjective thing. But for me, I don't think it's my favorite. So you split the gun, and there you have this kind of a cross-hatched area on the inside. And you have this slot right here that's going to align to the tab that's on his shield. And so you just take those, line those up. Let me get a better view here so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, helps if I put it on the right side. There we go. Yeah, it helps a lot more if you actually put it on the right side. So don't put it on the wrong side. That seems like an easy solution. And there you go. So I think from the inside, it looks good. From the outside, it just looks unfinished. I don't like what they did in here. It does literally look like a cross section of something. So it kind of loses it for me there, but it does help with the optical illusion. But I do like it from the inside. I think that that's just nice coloring there. So yeah, overall, vehicle mode is all right in my books. Robot mode is still my favorite, but vehicle mode is okay. Now we can talk about effects in this mode. He does have a few, as you saw. So this is mostly the taking fire kind of effects. So he's, you know, getting hit there, and this is going to be a lot of orange on orange, guys. Sorry, he's taking some fire there, and you know he's got the fire back here. Now, if you take the bed off, so which I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So let's go ahead and take these pieces off. You know, you take this off. Now you do have these ports up here where you can have a little bit more fun, and I really think that Hasbro missed the opportunity here to have Huffer smokestacks. That would have been so cool right there. I just love that. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a broken record on that, but come on, that's great. But they missed the opportunity, so we can't do that. But you do have the others in here where you could have him taking a, you know, maybe an off-center impact so it looks a little bit better. You know, so you've got something like that going on. He's getting bombarded everywhere he goes. And I guess if you just wanted one center, like a unicorn Huffer, maybe like a Huffercorn, you could do that. All right, so let's take those off. And I do want to show you that he can haul the trailer. So you just have the post right there, and you align the post to his bed or to his fifth wheel, his hitch, and there you go. So Huffer does have that capacity and capability to tow Optimus Prime's trailer. All right. So for comparison, let me get him squeezed back down. All right. So for comparison, let's bring a few vehicle modes in. Now, I've got kind of a wide range here just to give you a general overview. So let's go ahead and start with, since we talked about Prime's trailer, let's go ahead and start with the roller that I 3D printed for Prime's trailer. This was actually an already existing model on Thingiverse, and I will find the person who did this. I'll find the creator of this, and I'll provide a link in the description, so credit where credit is due. But we'll set him up here beside roller so you can see the comparison there between the two. All right. Next, we will bring in, let's go kind of from smallest to largest here. We'll bring in the Kingdom Core Optimus Prime so you can see how those two look together. And he is just a little guy. He does not haul his own trailer. Sorry, that doesn't work. It's just not going to happen. All right, let's bring in Warpath so you can see him next to Warpath. Deluxe and a Deluxe together. And now we're going to get into some of the different ones here from different universe. So we can bring in, I'm going to bring him over this way, bring in the Combiner Wars Optimus Prime so you can see a truck cab and a truck cab together. And we will bring in Hound from the Bayverse movies. See how those two look together. And let's go ahead and bring in Solar Storm Grapple from the Reveal the Shield line. And again, that's a lot of orange happening right there. That's a lot of orange. All right, and bring in a leader class or commander class here from the War for Cybertron line. So let's take a look at the shuttle mode for Skylynx. Get a comparison there. And last but certainly not least, let's bring in G1 Pipes. So G1 Pipes is Huffer, just a repaint. And I never had a Huffer. It's a childhood trauma of mine. But I did and do have pipes. So we can take a look at those two guys there. You can see how they square up. So definitely a lot of inspiration being pulled from the G1 for the Kingdom Huffer. You can even see here in front, you have the 4 headlights, the grille, the bumper, the cab lights. So yeah, pretty good job. And of course the oversized exhaust pipes. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. There you go. All right, so that's it for vehicle comparisons. So let's go ahead and we will bring Huffer back into his robot mode, and we'll have a little bit of fun there. So in order to do that, you simply, if you still have the accessories on, take those off, of course. And you'll just unfold the legs GoBot style. And then you can split them. And then you just take these, flip them all the way around again. And the legs are done. Now for the arms, what I do is I just kind of take, trying to not have my big old fingers in the way while I'm showing you. I kind of put my finger right here by his fist, and I just give that a little bit of a pull, just a real gentle pull, and that will actually take that tab and slot and remove them. And then the same thing down here, it will pull those apart. So same thing, just grab that, give it the old gentle twist, and now you have those separated. And what I do now is I just take that cab, get that cab out of my way, so I'm nice and clear from that. And again, this is where we're going to kind of manipulate those arms, spread them out a little bit, so they try not to get in your way as much. Pull that chest down. And then when you pull the chest down, you're going to flip these wheels in. So like I said earlier, I just give them a little squeeze with my finger, or my thumb in this case, and bring that up so that way I don't pop that mushroom peg out. And do the same thing here. So you squeeze those in so you're looking like that. While you're here, if you want, you can flip that head around. And you can also go ahead and bring those shoulders up and clip those in. And then you bring the chest back up, give it a click, twist these arms 90 degrees, bring them down, bring the fists out, twist the forearms in, and you've got one arm done. Do the same thing over here. And you have 2 arms done. And then back here for the cab, it's really up to you. I mean, if you want to give him kind of a hi-hat look, you can do that. And that definitely gives you plenty of clearance. I think it looks a little bit better myself. Just bringing it down and then pulling it out at an angle. I think that gives him a pretty good look there. And there you have Huffer back in his robot mode. All right, so we'll talk about accessories and effects here. So what we can do, take that gun and we'll just put that gun back together. So just line everything up, give it a squeeze, give him his gun, and take the old shield claw awesome thing. Wish I had one of these in real life. And just use this center peg right here, and you can put it either on his shoulder or his forearm. I put it on his forearm. Give it a little bit of a squeeze, and there you have sweet, awesome, looks like a huge fist shield claw. Love it. All right, so now for effects in robot mode. Let's get some of those in here. You pretty much have the same thing that you were working with before. You could give him the old shot in the back. The shot in the back always comes from Starscream. For those who are curious, it's always a Starscream shot. And then, of course, you can get him a little bit of Pew pew action over here. Get him all kinds of messed up. He's taking a couple shots right to his shooting arm. That's too bad. And then you do have enough of a nub right here on the end of the gun that you can squeeze one of these effects on. And so now he's getting bluey bluey, bang bang, pewy pewy action all over the place while he's trying to take some guys out. You notice nobody's shooting this because it's not going to work. So, oh, something I forgot to show in vehicle mode, but I can show in robot mode too. So, actually, it might work out better this way. I'm getting a little giggly just thinking about it. So, you know how Soundwave has Laserbeak, and he'll have his arm out like that, and he'll say Laserbeak report. Well, Huffer can have his own little guy helping him out here. So, this goes back to the Ectotron review that I did. Huffer can say, Muncher, report. So, there you go. Huffer is Muncher compatible. So you can have Muncher hanging out with Huffer, and who wouldn't want to have that little guy as a sidekick, right? So, there you go. Okay, that's just me being silly. But yeah, you do have these posts on the shield where it can take fire as well. Maybe take some hits. So you could have some of this going on too. So that way he's blocking some of it. There you go. All right. So let's get all these effects off this guy. And we'll do some comparisons in this mode. And then I'll give you final thoughts. All right, let's get him straightened out a little bit here so you can see him in all of his glory. There we go. All right. Huffer's looking all right there. Okay, so we'll go through a few different comparisons here so you guys can see some size differences. So we'll start, again, kind of smallest to largest. So what we'll do is we'll bring in the Kingdom Core Starscream. So you can see how Huffer looks compared to a core class. All right, move him on out of the way. And we'll bring in just the smaller Netflix War for Cybertron Bumblebee, so you can see how those two guys look together. All right. And we're going to skip around universes, so hold on to your britches, because now I'm bringing in the Transformers Generations Orion packs, so that way you can see just a couple of dudes hanging out. I was like, hey, you turn into a truck? Well, yeah, you turn into a truck? Yeah, all right, cool, chest bump. So there you go. All right, get Orion packs out of here. And just for kind of a Kingdom Beast Wars comparison, we'll bring in Paleotrex so you can see how he looks to next to a fossilizer. All right. And let's bring in Tiny Feet Cheetor so you can see Huffer next to Littlefoot. And move him on out of the way before he falls, because he will. Let's take a look at Black Arachnia. Alright. Next up, we will bring in Kingdom RC on her sweet little hoverboard. Alright, we'll take a look here with Optimus Primal. And we'll take a look at Dinobot. Move him on out of the way, and we'll bring in Kingdom Inferno. So you can see how those two guys look together. Definitely a size discrepancy here, but you know, you are talking Deluxe to Voyager. Next up, we will bring in Mr. Cyclonus. Again, if you can only get one figure out of the Kingdom line, get him. Cyclonus out of the way. We'll bring in Barney. So you can see him next to a leader. Get Barney off the screen. And next what we'll do is we'll bring in another leader. Bring in the Kingdom Ultra Magnus. So you can see how those two guys look together. And just for fun, let's do the truck family here. So you got Magnus there, and of course we'll bring in over here Kingdom / Earthrise Optimus Prime. So there you go. Semi-truck, semi-truck, semi-truck. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so that's it for comparison. So let's go ahead and we'll talk about final thoughts on this guy. All right, so my final thoughts on Mr. Huffer. I think that he is a worthy addition to the collection. He is fun. He's a figure that we were anticipating, most of us anyway, and he really does not disappoint. The biggest complaints that I would have about this guy would be the limited articulation in his elbows and the limited articulation in his feet. Not the biggest fan of his alt mode, but I think the robot mode just looks absolutely stunning. It's maybe one of my favorite robot modes in the Kingdom line other than Cyclonus. And I think for the price point, this is $20 US. I think for the price point, if you can find him, I think he's definitely a worthy addition. There's just a lot of fun to be had here with this guy, and anyone who knows the character is definitely going to want to play some of those scenes out anyway. But I think, yeah, if you can find him, pick him up. I think he's a steal for $20. I'm very anti-scalper, so I don't think I would want to give a scalper a bunch of money, but you know, even if you have to jump online and maybe find him for 30 or 35, I still think that's all right. I certainly wouldn't give double retail for him, but if you can find him, he's showing up in Targets now. He's probably going to be in Walmart soon. And of course, you can go online, Big Bad Toy Store, TF Source, any of those places like that, and hopefully they'll have him in stock and you can pick him up. But with that, guys, we're going to wrap up the review. And as I always say, thanks for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. And if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to do so. We're on Rumble. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're probably going to be expanding here soon to Twitch. But we love hearing the comments. We love having the interaction with you guys. We love seeing the channel grow. I love doing these reviews. It's just a lot of fun for me. So let's keep the channel growing. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Let me know what we could be doing better. Like I said before, Sid's going to be concentrating a lot on the other action figures out there in the various universes, the NECA Predator, NECA Alien, that kind of stuff. So we're going to be bringing a lot of content to you guys, and we appreciate you going along for the ride. So with that, I'll wrap it up and just say, again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Until we talk to you next time, you guys take care.